Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Siobhan Williams from Deadly Class, and I'm on with your boy Galaxy from Comic-Con Radio.
This school trains killers to master the deadly arts. It's dedicated to the self-liberation of oppressed people. People like you.
Here at King's Dominion, you survive your way, and I'll survive mine.
The rules are simple. No disobedience, no drugs, and no sex.
That's all you savages think about. You've got dicks on the brain.
Hating what's wrong is easy. I'm gonna do something about it.
Let's see what you've got. We're gonna party forever and rule the world.
Have a good weekend, future disruptors of America.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing in for Comic-Con Radio. Coverage of pop culture events from around the globe. Amazing interviews with celebrities. Daily recaps and reviews of popular television. The Walking Dead. Z Nation. Van Helsing. DC Titans. Flash. The Legends of Tomorrow. Black Lightning. American Horror Story. Green Arrow. Movie reviews. Everything Comic-Con and fandom from around the globe. Comic-Con Radio. Get ready to enter our universe. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your boy Galaxy signing in on Comic-Con Radio. Today we have an amazing actress, actor, whatever you want to call her. She's on a new hit movie called Marwen. She's in another movie called Public School. She's been on Hell on Wheels and so many other TV shows that I can't even count right now, but we'll put it in the description. And she's coming up on an amazing TV show that actually premieres tonight. Well, by the time you hear this, it premiered 2 days ago. We have Siobhan Williams. What's up, Siobhan? How are you? Welcome.
Hey, guys. I'm great. I'm pretty psyched on this evening. How are you?
Great. Awesome. How exciting is it that your new show premieres tonight for the general universe?
Oh, man. For the universe. It's pretty exciting, pretty scary. It's been a long time coming. We actually shot the episode that's airing tonight like almost a year and a half ago. So it has been a long time coming for us, and we're really excited to share it with the world.
That's awesome. Well, your character is really wonderful on the episode. You're one of the main characters. Of course, our fans probably read the comics or knows about Rick Remender, but your character's a pretty tough gal. How did it feel getting that character?
Honestly, it felt great. It's so easy to be typecast, no matter who you are or what you look like. Everyone wants to put you into some sort of niche when it comes to the acting world. And it was really cool to play a character who's so different from anything else I've ever done. And a character I feel like I can really kind of, actually put a bit of myself into. Not in terms of her morals, but I grew up with...
Yeah, right.
Not at all. But I grew up with mainly a lot of guy friends. Like I grew up dirt biking and trying to keep up with my guy buddies. And I feel like all of that kind of harsh, masculine influence that I've had in my life, I was able to really bring to her.
You're absolutely right. Brandy Lynn is her character on Deadly Class. And Brandy Lynn is a Southern belle, just like Siobhan, but actually Siobhan's let's say a British-Canadian belle. But Brandy Lynn is hardcore, crazy, a killer, but acts so nice and innocent and lovely. And that's what's so cool about that role, Siobhan.
Yeah, she's ultra manipulative. She knows how to be a chameleon and act in whatever way will get her what she wants. So she's a lot smarter than she looks and lets on.
She just chews that bubble gum and makes people think she's like an airhead, but she's not, because she'll kill you if you move the wrong way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, she's lethal.
You're so perfect for that role. Like everybody in our team here is like, wow, that was an amazing pick when they got you.
Oh man, really? I'm so honored you say that. Like it's such big shoes to fill, and that just made my whole life Thank you.
That's really cool. And, I wanted to thank you also because you took the time to come on the show. I know your schedule's so busy. You guys are going here, Zooming there, Zooming here. I know how it is. So thank you so much for coming on Comic-Con Radio.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for being so interested and inviting all of us. It makes us super psyched.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When we love a show, we love a show, and we love all the characters, and we give you 100% of our support, and we do whatever it takes. You guys got a great set of characters. How did it feel working with Benedict Wong?
Oh, man, it was crazy. It's actually so funny because, of course, I love him in all of his huge movies and shows that he's done, like Avengers and Marco Polo. But the real thing that made me starstruck by him is this British comedy called The IT Crowd. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Oh, God. Okay, so that's probably my favorite show of all time. And he did a guest star episode. And when I first met him at the table read for the pilot, I went up to him and I was like, don't say you're a fan. Because it's always kind of this weird thing when you're like, I'm a fan of your work. It puts you into this kind of category of like them feeling awkward working with you because they don't know if you like the dynamic just shifts a little bit. But of course, I ended up being like, you were in my favorite TV show, The IT Crowd, and I thought you were so amazing. And I could tell, like, right when I said, you were in my favorite show, he was like expecting me to say Avengers or Marco Polo, but instead I say this show that it's like kind of a more obscure show, and like he only did one episode. So that was kind of funny, but I feel like we broke the ice really quickly, and him and I became super tight really quickly. I love that man to death. He's such a great influence and a great leader for all of us. He's just a consummate professional, and he's got such a good heart, and he's so humble, and he'll lend advice, but only if you ask for it. He's not preachy or anything like that. And he's just so sweet. Like, he'll send me photos of his family wherever they're traveling in the moment, because of course they're all over the place. And yeah, he's just a doll, and I love him, and I hope we're friends forever.
That's really cool. And it was probably surprising for him that you remember him from the one show that he had one episode as a guest and not all his other crazy roles. Because I loved him on Marco Polo. Forget Avengers, put that aside. He was so good in Marco Polo. When I close my eyes, I hear his voice saying, "Come here, do this." Like that voice of his. And I'm like,
his voice is amazing.
I know, right?
It's terrifying. Like, it's so funny talking to him. He's got this really cool, he's like John Lennon, like all Liverpool. And then he like goes into a scene and he's like, ah! It's like, oh my God, okay. Like, how am I going to act this absolute doll of a man? And then it's like action and you're like, okay, I'm scared shitless of you. All right, whatever you say.
If all else fails for you, you can become a Benedict kind of like voiceover actor because you just did it so good.
Thank you.
It's 2 packs of cigarettes, some Jack Daniels, and be awake for 48 hours, and then you have the voice down.
Oh, perfect. Okay, sounds good. I'll work on that.
There you go. I know you've had a couple other shows you were a recurring actress on, but is this something that was planned for you, or did the role just pop up and you were like, I gotta have it?
I think that with acting, very little is planned. I mean, it's different perhaps once you're an A-list actor. And I think that you can have a sort of game plan that you want and you can aim for certain things, but a lot of it comes down to luck and timing. And for me, I was on a lot of shows that I really loved. I was on some shows that didn't turn out as great as I'd hoped they would, as I think every person in every kind of career has happened in their lifetime. And Deadly Class is one of those weird things. I'm not sure that I believe in The Secret, that book, The Secret, and manifesting what you want.
I believe
I
in
do.
it.
Do you? Okay, see, I'm like on the fence about it. I used to believe in it really strongly, and then I completely fell off of it and became really cynical. And now I'm kind of back like in between. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Whatever you want to call it, magnetic thinking, the law of attraction, like positive energy, whatever. It was really funny because at the beginning of the year, I pretty much always write out a list of the kind of jobs that I want, like that would kind of be my dream jobs. I remember saying, I wish I could just book a show in Vancouver, like a long-term show where I'm a series regular so I can be up here because I love Vancouver and like my boyfriend's here and my cats are here and I love nature and it's a good place for me. So I said, I want a role that I can film here. I want it to check one of these boxes. I want to have an accent, or I want it to be like really, really a heavily character role. It's really different. I want it to be really kind of dark and raw. I want it to be something where I can get really in shape to do stunts. I want it to be something where I can learn a new skill. I just kind of said any one of those things on a show where I can be on it regularly, I'll be so psyched. And then Deadly Class came along, and turns out I do all of those things. And it was just kind of like, I didn't even realize it until after we shot the pilot. I kind of went, oh man, I think I got exactly what I asked for.
It's like an amazing episode on Shark Tank. You got the deal that you wanted.
Yeah, totally. It's like, dear Santa, for Christmas, can I please have?
And Santa came through.
Yeah, Santa really came through. Apparently, I was a good girl. I didn't know, too, because, like, it's so interesting when you come onto a show and the first episode you do, you're a recurring character, because, like, I knew the comics had Brandy as a character. You never know what's going to come of that role, like if producers don't like you, or there's other characters that they want to write more of, or they don't think you're going to resonate with the audience. Like, there's so many places where that recurring role is basically like a test, not only for the actor, but of audience response and all sorts of different things, you know, how it works within the network of the story. And so similarly to when I did Hell on Wheels, I was given the job as basically a one-off. It was like, okay, you're guest starring in this episode and then we'll see. And both times I did an episode and then I had to wait like 10 months to know if I was going to come back, if I was even going to have really much of a speaking role, all these kinds of things. And in both circumstances, you know, they brought me back, and it was like a much more fleshed out, important character. So I was really pleased with that. And so in that sense, it took a while for the kind of the levity of the whole thing to come to be understood in my mind.
You're starring in like major TV shows that have big budgets per episode. So, of course, they're going to take their time and put you into a perfect situation. You act really well. You relate to a lot of people. You know, you're like a rising star. I know that in the next few years, you're going to be like a huge A-lister just from the way your secret book, you know, little Santa list is just growing and growing and growing. And you're doing well. I think so, and our team thinks so, and I know you know so. I know you're from England and ways of Canada. Were you born in England and grew up in Canada? How did that work out?
Yeah, so my dad's British. I was born in Cambridge, England. And then when I was still a little baby, my parents moved back to Newfoundland, which is where my mom and dad actually met. And then they went on sabbatical to the UK. That's why I was born there. And then they went back to Newfoundland. I was there for 6 years. We lived right on the coast. We had 5 acres up to the ocean. And then my dad got a job in Calgary. When I was 6, we moved to Calgary, which is where I grew up until I was like 18. And then moved to Vancouver after that to pursue acting.
So you used to cold weather. You went from like muggy, cloudy weather to freezing cold weather to Canada, then back to Canada. And so you're used to that. So for you to film in warm places, is that a dream?
Oh, God, I would love to film something in Hawaii or anywhere tropical and beautiful. It's definitely a dream, but I have to say, working when it's really hot is very challenging. I mean, especially when I was doing Hell on Wheels and some other kind of period stuff, you just get so hot, and I'm not good. Like, I kind of run hot. It can provide an additional challenge for me. But that being said, filming when it's minus 40 outside, which I've done multiple times, is not that much fun either.
So right in the middle is perfect. Maybe 60 degrees is perfect for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we film in a studio for the most part in Deadly Class, so it's kind of the perfect middle ground. It does get hot in there. It does get cold in there, but the degree to which it gets hot or cold is much less, which is really enjoyable for me.
Isn't it so cool that your set team, those guys are so amazing. They made the entire set look like San Francisco. They must be so awesome. Canada is so amazing. Every major show we cover, every celebrity we talk to, a lot of the fandom Comic-Con shows are filmed in Canada. People don't know that, and we're like making it more aware. They're doing it so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we have so much talent up here, and I'm just so happy to see everyone put to work on really quality, high caliber shows that are so challenging and provide so much artistic creativity. Every single set I went to on Deadly Class, I think I just spend 15 or 20 minutes staring at everything in the room, down to the bottles of nail polish in Maria's dorm, to the stuffed animals in Brandy Storm, which you will see in episode 2 or 3, like in Master Lynn's office. I've watched the pilot, I think probably 5 or 6 times now, and I'm still not bored of it because there's so much detail that you can find.
You're right. Everything looks so beautiful. When I found out about Deadly Class many months ago, I was like, I have to get all of them on the show. We got to get behind the show. Because here's the thing. I've had celebs and they made a wish list. And they called me 6 months later. They're like, it came true. I had an interview with Alex Pavnovic.
I love him.
Yeah, he's such a cool dude. And he's a good friend. And he came on the show and we spoke and he wished for a couple of things and it came true. And now I got to come on the next set of Van Helsing. So that's how it goes.
Oh, man. Well, you got to come on set of Deadly Class, too. Like,
that's
your wish list.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Ever since you've been working on Deadly Class, has your fans kind of changed? You've noticed on social media, are different types of people following you from different genres?
Yeah, actually, I've definitely noticed that, especially in the last month when the pilot came out. My following's definitely increased and people seem to be a lot more engaged, which is really cool. And one thing I noticed and that I'm really happy about with Deadly Class, and I think it comes with playing a character that, like you said, is quite complex and unconventional, is that people are actually starting to notice me for my acting as opposed to just kind of being an individual who is on TV, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely makes sense. You're so right. And that's why I wanted to chat about all that as well. Your acting is so great and people are noticing it.
Oh, thank you. Really? No, thank you.
Yeah, they are. Listen, you wouldn't be going up the ladder if your acting wasn't good. They just wouldn't want just anybody coming on these shows. But if you feel it, that's what counts, right?
Yeah, it just makes me so happy because that's what I got into the business for. You know, I've always wanted to be a character actor. And I just did an interview a couple of days ago with Chunk Space. I was just talking with them about how I've always really wanted to be a character actor and play characters that are so vastly different from myself because that's interesting to me. I mean, there's so many shows on TV that are insanely popular and I just can't stand them because you're just watching people be hot and read dialogue on TV. And it's like, it couldn't be more boring to me.
Of course, there's so many shows like that out there. And being a character actor, it takes a lot of vision and it takes ethics. It takes, being humble and also wanting to become this other person. You have to get out of your skin and play someone else. And it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Was that something you wanted to do as a child?
Growing up in Calgary, which is not a small city, but it's a small city by American standards, it wasn't even something in the realm of possibility to me. I didn't know anybody who worked in the film industry. I didn't know any actors. It just didn't even cross my mind as an option. So when I was a kid, I was really invested in dancing and ballet, and I danced 6-7 days a week up until I was 17. And then I kind of fell into acting through a friend of mine. And I fell in love with it pretty immediately, but I still kind of thought, the odds of me succeeding are slim to none. But hey, I enjoy it, so let's just see what happens. And it was my attitude for the first few years, and then it got really hard. I saw a bit of success, and I thought, cool, it's all going to be easier from now on. And then I realized, no, it's actually going to be a lot harder. And you're going to be a lot more stressed, and you're going to be giving a lot more, and you're going to get less return for a while. But it wasn't something that I wanted to do as a kid, but not because I didn't love it, just because I didn't think that I, deserved to have the opportunity, I guess.
Don't say that. You deserve everything. You deserve the stars and the moon and the sky and the whole universe.
I love you. Thank you.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. You deserve everything because you're the one putting in the hard work and you're going to these different cities. It's not easy. Everyone thinks it's easy being an actor. They think that you're given diamonds and lemonade, and it's not like that. You guys have got to go crazy, run around, remember stuff. It takes somewhat of an education to read right, to basically articulate what you're trying to do, and you're trying to play a whole nother human being in front of cameras around a bunch of crazy people, and you got to do it right.
Totally. You're right. And on this show especially, there's I said the most challenging thing about this show is there's so much technical direction when it comes to props and the sets are so immaculate that they have to be featured. And so a lot of the acting is having to work around the other things that are happening in the scene. I'm sure you've seen, and I guess we've seen the first 3 episodes, you know, the whole part where Brandy kind of opens the switchblade in the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, that switchblade was so stiff, like it had never been oiled in its life, and it took like 15 pounds to open it every time, but I had to make it look like I was just flicking it, and it just came open naturally. So when we did this scene, I remember I had kind of rehearsed it in my head. I knew exactly what I was going to do, and then it came down to it, and like there was like 7 different things I was dealing with in that scene. For example, my eyeline was watching Taylor and Sean, who play Petra and Victor. My eyeline was to watch them come into the bathroom. They stop. I look at them. You know, I take a step up to her. I flick open the thing. Blah, blah, blah. Should be easy. However, they didn't actually come into the bathroom. They were there the whole time because they couldn't move where the cameras were. And then I had to make an imaginary eyeline, pretend they were walking, and then move my eyeline directly into the barrel of the camera. And then I had to take my step, but it had to be very specific. And at the same time, like start to slowly open the switchblade below the camera where it was out of frame and make it look like my arms weren't moving, so I wasn't cheating it. And then like on a dime, flick it up, but in a way so that my fingers were kind of in between it so that it would look natural. And like there was just so many things to always be thinking about, which provides a whole other layer of fun and difficulty.
Yeah, and it's scary because even though sometimes the knives aren't real, they could still cut you and hurt you and ruin a take, and it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character actor that you're like, okay, I can do that?
Someone I've always looked up to is Charlize Theron. I remember seeing her in Monster when I was pretty young, and my cousin was like, this is that actress in real life, and I didn't believe her. I was like, no, it's not. There's no way she looks like... And I think she kind of gave me faith throughout my career that you can be kind of a blonde actress who's taken seriously, not just playing ditzy roles. And, you know, nowadays, Margot Robbie, actually, I really respect her and the career choices she's made. And I love how she transformed for I, Tonya and for playing Queen Elizabeth, which I obviously haven't seen that movie yet. But I feel like Margot Robbie's another actress who's like freaking beautiful, but she's so not afraid to be ugly. And I think that's so important. And it just goes to show that she's doing it to be an artist, not because she just wants to look hot on TV.
That's so cool that you have that mindset, because here's the thing, for you to want to change your appearance and become something that's totally not you, to show the artistic side of it, whether you're copying a serial killer like Charlize Theron did. And isn't Charlize Theron, like, she hasn't aged. She looks the same for the past 20 years.
I know. Yes,
I think she's
does.
playing Charlize Theron. I think it's not really Charlize Theron. I think it's like an actor playing her. And that's why she's hasn't aged.
Yeah, like a clone that she's just had aging 20 years behind her or something.
I know. It's so crazy. I saw your TV roles. You know, you started with Heartland. You had a recurring role there. Then you went to Level Up. And then you went to Hell on Wheels. And then Black Box. It looks like you were going into more like sci-fi and crazier type of TV shows till now you landed in Deadly Class. I know it's not planned because you said everything just happens.
Well, you know what? I definitely have done my fair share of movies where I kind of, not that they're fluffy, but they're just a lot more family oriented.
Christmas Miracle.
Well, I did Christmas Miracle. I also did a movie called The Night Pond, which then they changed the title to A Miracle on Christmas Lake. And I was like, oh no, I can't have 2 films on my resume.
Those are cool though. I love those during Christmas time. I got to binge watch a bunch of them. My team's like, what are you doing? You're a sci-fi junkie. I'm like, no, I got to get more Christmas movies.
Well, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about entertainment, right? Like there's so many different purposes for different projects, and you can speak to a lot of different people, which I think is so cool. And every single project that I've ever done, I've had such a great time doing. And I think that when I look early in my career, I was primarily playing kind of the bitchy popular girl or the sexy girl. And then I started getting into period roles, which was my dream because that's like my all-time favorite. Ever since I was little, history's been arguably my biggest passion in the world. And so getting an excuse to research things and delve back into that world is the closest thing I have to traveling back in time, which I'm so frustrated that I can't do. So yeah, every chance I get to do something, period, I'm so excited. And so I got really lucky and I did like Hell on Wheels, and I did this feature with John Cassar and Kiefer Sutherland and Demi Moore. But unfortunately, a couple of the storylines just got completely cut for time. And my storyline was one of them. And that was an awesome, awesome experience. And I did Brain. And so it kind of goes through phases, you know, it's weird. It's like the world kind of goes through this mentality together. It ebbs and flows, and you get cast in certain things, and then the genre changes. And then I think with my desire to do more character stuff, that's probably why you see me more in the sci-fi realm, I suppose, because that's a really good place to play characters.
I know Deadly Class is going to take you even farther because it's such a cool show. SYFY has really stepped up their game. I know they had all sorts of shows, and now it's like Deadly Class is so much higher on the bar.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. And I know Deadly Class is going to be a show that's going to go on a minimum 4 or 5 seasons. Do you feel that?
Wow. Oh, I love that you say that. I mean, I feel that. I hope that, you know, you try and never let yourself get too excited because there's so many crazy things happen in this business. But I feel like we're all pretty confident, knock on wood, that we've got something really special and that there's just so many stories left to be told.
Absolutely. So, I know you've done a bunch of movies like Adventures in Public School and so forth, but how was it working on Welcome to Marwen?
Amazing. Yeah, it was really a surreal experience. I remember, it's funny, like most of the biggest jobs I've ever had, I got from one audition. And so it's really surreal when you get it. Deadly Class was actually like that. I booked it off of one self-tape. That was one scene. And then Welcome to Marwen, again, was a taping that I did with the casting director, Tiffany Mack, here in Vancouver. And I don't think they released a lot of information about this script when I did Welcome to Marwen, the audition. And so when I got it, I kind of had to really dig to try and find out what exactly my role was and what I was doing. And I had some friends who were huge fans of Marwen Call, the documentary, and I watched it with my boyfriend and just cried and thought it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. And I thought it was such a brilliant, beautiful, heartbreaking story. And I just got so excited. Being on set was crazy. I mean, talk about production value. Like, I've just never seen such an intricately well-organized, well thought out production in my life. Like, Bob Zemeckis is just so, he just knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, I've done a lot of motion capture. I actually did a video game. I worked on a video game for 3 years that just got canceled like 3 months ago. And I was actually the lead of the video game, and Alex Panovich was my co-star. It was such a bummer, man. But so I'd done a lot of motion capture before this. Going into the set was really crazy because they had this huge fake World War II tank built, you know, the Jeep, and Bob Zemeckis had a whole diorama of, you know, the fictional town, and it was all paper cutouts, and he showed us this kind of model and said, okay, this is the building that you're going to be coming out of, this is the church, you're going to be walking around here, you're going to be going over to the Ruined Stocking, which is the bar. And he just explained everything so well. He answered every question so well. He was just so concise, and working with Steve Carell was pretty nuts. I remember I was sitting in the hair and makeup trailer in the morning, and I hadn't met him yet or anything, and I had my eyes closed because I was getting my eye makeup done, and I just hear the door open, and someone was playing It's Not Unusual in the makeup trailer, you know, it's not unusual to be that song, and I just hear the door open, and then I hear, oh, we're starting the morning off with some It's Not Unusual, huh? And it was Steve Carell. And I just like froze. I was like, oh my God, he's here. And then of course I'm like, oh yeah, hey. Just super cool. And that was that. And working with Steve Carell and Robert Zemeckis was just like a dream come true for me.
Isn't it so nice? Well, I think it's nice to see that you're their peer, but you still get shell-shocked when you see them. You're like, oh my God, like with Benedict and now with Steve Carell. It's really cool to see that. It shows a totally big side about you. And now that people are going to listen to this, they're going to know that you're humble, you're caring, and you have a heart. And you were right in the beginning when you said people think because you're blonde and you're a certain way, it's like, okay, I'm whatever and blah, blah, blah. And no, you're more than ordinary in a great way. You still get starstruck and you just want life to be normal. You want to live in Canada, be by your boyfriend, by your pets, by your family, by everyone, and just be on a TV show and just play characters and show your artistic side. And that's all you want out of life. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really kind of you. Thank you for saying that.
In the movie, did they dress you in plastic?
No, although that would have been hilarious. No, it was a standard performance capture, motion capture costume, which is basically just spandex with little motion sensor balls all over you.
I know. I just wanted to ask that.
Okay, well, you never know.
All right, people. She wears a green or blue suit with dots all over her like they make video games.
Totally. Well, I got asked a lot of questions about, like, did they do this? And I'm like, oh, God, no.
Out of all the TV shows you played on and all the movies except Deadly Class, because you're currently on it, which one was your favorite TV and movie by far of all time out of everything you've done? Hard question, huh?
It is and it isn't. Definitely Hell on Wheels. That show is so special to me, and that character was so special to me. It's just a complicated answer because I ended up having a scheduling conflict after when they wanted me to come back for the next season, and another network wouldn't release me, and then we couldn't make it work. So I was really heartbroken that I couldn't go back, which perhaps makes it feel even more bittersweet. It makes me love it more. But that being said, also Forsaken, which my role was cut from, meant a lot to me. And ironically, those are both Westerns. And yeah, I know, right? So I'm actually trying to make a Western music video right now because my boyfriend's a musician and music producer. And so I'm actually working on a treatment for a Western music video.
Nice. What kind of music does he produce?
Indie rock. He was the frontman of a band called Hot Hot Heat for many years. And now he's got a few more bands. One of them's called Mounties, and that's what the music video is going to be for. So working on that. But I mean, aside from Hell on Wheels and Forsaken, I'd probably say Van Helsing, just because, again, it was like a period role. I got to do an Irish accent. I got to play kind of a comedic role, which was fun for me. Have you seen that episode?
You played actually yourself on that, right?
Yes, but it's fun. And it's funny because some of the producers on Van Helsing are the same producers from Hell on Wheels. So when I got the audition for Van Helsing and the character's name was Siobhan, I was like, I wonder if this maybe was in the back of their mind. Like, you know, like knowing my name from...
They wrote you in. Well, that episode was really cool because that was this last season, right? She went back in time. You were the assistant, right? Or the housekeeper?
Yes.
Yeah, it was so cool. You didn't even look like you.
No.
And then I was thinking, I was like, Siobhan Williams, Deadly Class, amazing. Then I'm like, she was the Grandma Van Helsing's assistant that, you know, later helped him out. And I was like, that's cool.
So true. Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was pretty transformative.
You look so different on that character. You do it well. See? There you go, girl. You did it awesome. Like, that didn't even look like you. You did the accent well. You acted well. There you go. Character acting. That's it. That's your way. End of discussion. Call your agent right now. Okay.
All right. I'm calling her.
Hello?
Oh.
So any other big major things happening? I know some things you can't share. I know everybody has secrets in Hollywood, but is there anything you could share about other than Deadly Class, or is Deadly Class the biggest thing going on right now?
The biggest thing I would say right now is actually that we, as a cast, are running a fundraiser. I don't know if you've heard about it.
No, tell us.
Yeah, we're running a fundraiser for a nonprofit animal rescue here in Vancouver. And we've basically got a ton of swag that we're going to mail people. We have comics that are signed by all of us, like the comics with the cool SYFY Deadly Class cover. And we have personal video greetings from all the different cast members. We have like shirts and all sorts of different stuff. So we're just asking for donations to this charity. We have a web page and everything. And we've made, I think, like $1,500 so far. We're trying to make way more. We have a goal of 10,000. I know it's pretty high, but it's actually an organization that I've worked with for about 3 years now. And they rescue and rehabilitate orphaned, neglected, abused cats and kittens. And they're an incredible organization. I've fostered like 40 different cats with them. And I've volunteered at a lot of different animal rescues, and they are just so different in their ethics, and they just work so hard. And I just want to see them succeed and get the money to keep doing what they're doing. So that's kind of my most exciting thing right now.
That's so nice of you. You fostered 40 cats. That takes a lot of work. I'm telling you, my mom had like 4 cats she fostered, and I was like, whoa, that's so much work. And you had 40. Wow. And you're trying to raise money. So you raised $1,500 already.
Yeah.
What is the website that the fans could go on?
Well, I can message it to you if you want, but the website, which is kind of long, is weblink.donorperfect.com/Vokra, VOKRA /Deadly Class Fundraiser, ampersand dash up right arrow V. No, just kidding.
.com/ give me money.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me $10,000.
Yeah. So like basically every amount of money you donate gets you raffle tickets, and then we're going to do a raffle and donate a ton of stuff. And the funny thing is we actually have 25 copies of the comic to give out, and not even 25 people have donated. So right now, if you donate, you're guaranteed to get a freaking comic.
That's sad. What the hell?
I know. Well, people don't.
Is everybody sharing it on their pages? Come on. All together, you guys got like millions of followers.
They are not. Looking at you, Lana.
Naughty.
Yeah. But I think that they're going to start in the next few days, hopefully.
Well, we're going to put it out there. We'll do something. Send it to me as soon as possible. Our team will get something together. We'll put it out as soon as possible.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh, my God.
And they're loyal fans, and they love everybody that comes on our show. So they'll do whatever you guys say.
Jeez, I should have thought through my answers more carefully.
Yeah, right. Well, we're so happy. Our team reached out to you, and you were nice enough to reply back. You were so kind and welcoming, and your team is welcoming and kind. That's so cool.
No, totally. The cast has all been talking about you. We're all super psyched that you reached out, and no, we're really excited, and we're so thrilled that you love the show and are speaking so kindly about it, because we just want people to love it as much as we loved making it.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much. I know you have a social media page. What's your social media page that you want to tell all the fans out there?
Yeah, my Instagram is Siobhan_Williams. That's spelled Siobahan, SIOB for Bob, HAN for nose. Don't get thrown off by how it's spelled.
I like how you put those. You know what's so crazy? I got to say something. It's so crazy. They have videos out there to help people pronounce your name. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, so sad. So sad. But you know what? I look at my name sometimes and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what were my parents thinking?
One of our team members were like, is Siobhan coming? I'm like, that's Siobhan, man. Did you go to school?
Doesn't that sound like a robot?
It does. It sounds like a cool robot from another galaxy.
Cool robot. I always thought it was just kind of like Siobhan.
So then I sent him a link of a video, and some guy was pronouncing it in an Irish dialect, and I was like,
Siobhan. It's Siobhan.
Yeah, Siobhan.
Yeah, I'm like, no, nobody understands. And my last name's Williams, which is so easy. So people are always like, oh.
Yeah.
There's like times I've gone to some sort of event or something, and they're reading through a list of people, and then I just see them pause and be like, and then they just go, Williams? It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, I feel for Saoirse Ronan, because she must get it like even way worse.
I feel bad for some people that aren't educated enough to understand that, but hey, not everybody's, knowledgeable about names, so don't let it get to you, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
But it's cool though, you kept your real name. You didn't change it to like Barbara or Nancy or something like that.
Nancy Williams. Yeah, I should have.
Yeah.
No. I would do justice to all the Siobhans in the world and maybe give people an excuse to figure out how to say the name.
That's right. And actually what you should do is you should make your own YouTube video pronouncing your name. You'll probably get like 500,000 hits on it, and that's how you start your YouTube page.
That's actually a brilliant idea. I'm going to do that, and I will credit you.
Thank you so much. I've actually helped a lot of different guests come on the show create so many cool things for them. We created this one thing called #TootForLoot, and they had to fart for money. And every time they did a toot, people donated money.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's such a good idea.
Yeah,
what did they donate?
We had to get like people that didn't care about being embarrassed. So.
Yeah. Totally. That's a really good sign.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just how far you'll go to help out.
That's it. Well, we're going to help your charity, and we're going to follow your link as soon as we get it. We're going to post it on our social media, and we're just going to put it everywhere. And I hope you hit 10,000. Have you started a crowdfunding page or no?
No, I haven't. Do you think that's a good idea? It's like we were just donating through the website, but maybe crowdfunding's easier, hey?
Create a crowdfunding page, get all your co-stars together, have them all push it out on their social media. If you need help with creating graphics, our team is amazing. We would help you out. Let us know and just create the page. You'll probably raise like 50 grand.
Oh, frick. I hope so. Thank you so much.
Anytime, we're here for you. We're not just Comic-Con Radio. We're the Idea Radio. That's what we do.
Yeah, totally. Time for a rebrand. Just kidding.
All right, back to your social media. So it's at
Siobhan_Williams for Instagram, and then my Twitter is at SiobhanW_.
Awesome.
I have a website. Actually, it's SiobhanWilliams.com, but I just don't know. I just don't know what the point is.
Well,
There's some pictures of me on the seat. There's some photos. There's a link to my social.
That's cool,
about
though.
it.
That's cool. Hey, this is your biz. And you being a character actor, you could throw all the different characters you do and let the world see you in different phases of things. And it's really cool. You would be surprised what people really love. And the things that you might think is silly, they adore. So you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I like how you think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're so happy you came on the show. We would love to bring you back. We always invite people. You're welcome here. You have a VIP pass. Anytime you want to do a recap review show, anytime you want to combo up with a few of your co-stars and come on the show, we would love to have you back on. So don't need to ask. Just say, hey, I want to come on this day, and we'll get you on, and you're good to go.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, maybe I'll get some of the other Vancouver local cast over here, and we can all tag team it.
That's it. It'll be exciting and fun, and we'll all go crazy.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a blast talking to you, Galaxy.
No problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to exit, and Siobhan, she has to go and fly to another set and be the actor that she's envisioned herself to be. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Galaxy with Siobhan Williams, signing out of Comic-Con Radio. And Siobhan, we have to blow kisses to everybody in the universe. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mwah.
Love you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope you love the show as much as we love making it for you.
Awesome. You're wonderful. Thank you, guys. Peace.
Thank you. Good night.
You satisfied with your life? What if I told you there's a home for people like you? A school where you'll be surrounded by your peers.
Hi, I am Lana Condor. This is Deadly Class, and welcome to King's Dominion.
Deadly Class is about a high school for assassins set in the Reagan mid-'80s.
We've been hearing about Rick's book for a few years. The artwork is incredible. It's one of the more twisted coming-of-age stories we've ever read. So, first time we read the book, we were blown away. It's why we're standing here working on the show.
After school today, one of you's gonna die.
Deadly Class is a story of a street kid, an orphan, who has a very tragic past. He gets approached by a mysterious collection of characters who belong to a school for assassins.
I'm offering you a chance to harness that fire inside you, to master the deadly arts.
Not to be a dick, but what do you have to lose?
Nothing.
We first meet Marcus on the streets. He's kind of like a rabid dog. He has a lot of love, but he also has a lot of hate in his heart.
Hating what's wrong is easy. I'm gonna do something about it.
First year will follow his training as a new assassin.
You've got the thing this place is supposed to nurture, and they all see it. And that's why we'll try and destroy you.
So there's things that I can't do in a comic. There's things that just don't fit. I only have 20 pages. And what we were able to do here is take what's in there and unpack all of the characters and the story elements and get a wider look, the optics on the story and the characters in a way that we weren't able to in the book.
There's nothing sweet about us. We get to really feel the person behind the role, and that's priceless.
Dude, what's your problem?
Punk-ass bitches is my problem. The cool thing about Willie is he's a badass, and I ain't no bitch like Chico.
Get in the damn car.
Do you have any idea where you are?
SYFY is the most athletic and deadly character in the entire series, with the exception of Master Lin.
As soon as they put on the tattoos and the hair and everything, you can't help but feel badass. Her weapon of choice is her katana. It's a massive blade, and the actual weapon itself is very heavy. And then she's just slicing it around, and it looks really amazing. And I can't wait to use it more throughout the show.
Some rep you got.
We have Maria, part of the Mexican cartel, and her combat is fluid, it's beautiful, and it's dangerous.
I love this outfit.
It actually makes me feel very powerful.
This isn't as sexy as I imagined. Safe word.
The class clown would definitely be Billy.
A mousetrap? I get it.
Even though it's a heightened world, we're really kind of digging into what it is to be a teenager in 1987.
Who listens to a Walkman at a party?
This is an authentic snapshot of Generation X, of the kids that I grew up with in the underground and the subculture. But it's also an authentic snapshot of just teenage existence.
White Snake, putting on a bloody Rama and Def Leppard. Sweet little Jesus.
Deadly Class pulls no punches in its ability to shock.
People might see some things that are happening now, things being politicized and weaponized at almost every single level.
So you want to snuff Reagan?
Yeah, he killed my parents.
Changing the world is hippie bullshit.
All the action is born out of character. None of it is salacious. None of it's for spectacle. It's all very cool to look at, but contextually, you will care if somebody involved in a dangerous situation comes out of it scathed or unscathed.
Take a road trip.
A road trip?
To kill my dad. And my mom, my brother, they're not gonna survive it.
It has the actions that everyone loves, but there's also a lot of heart and character and relatability.
The best part of filming so far, I think, is just being with my friends. I mean, the whole cast is amazing, and we all got really close.
The cast is incredible. I just think there's nothing like it on television. Our job is to be innovative and disruptive, and we're looking for fresh stories to tell, stories that are surprising to people. I think people are going to be really surprised by the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Galaxy signing out from another amazing episode of Comic-Con Radio. Tune in for your daily shows of Comic-Con Radio. Go to comicon-radio.com. Reach us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Comic-Con Radio. You can call us toll-free right now. 800-976-0305. 800-976-0305. Comic-Con Radio, taking the world one listener at a time.